Let's get this sports podcast party started, all right?
The JAYREELZ podcast.
Why don't you wait until July 1st to make an announcement? What a disgrace. He can rack up all these numbers in October, November, and December, but what really counts is let me see this in January.
The sports rebel without a pause, delivering fast-paced, jam-packed sports talk like no other.
Listen, I gotta call it as I see it. He is not a good player. I'm sick and tired of having to deal with the disappointment of this franchise. When does it stop? And yes, another winter that I can sleep in peace. Coming directed in full effect. Let's get it.
This is the JAYREELZ podcast. Welcome aboard.
What is happening, my good people? Greetings. How are you? How's it going? How's everybody doing out there? What is the latest and greatest? Hope everybody's doing well, feeling fantastic, in excellent spirits. As the sports month continues to heat up, these airwaves right here, this microphone into this camera is even going to get hotter because with everything that I have to get off my chest, this is going to be a fast-paced, jam-packed, and not only nonstop action, you just got to witness it all, and you come to the right place to listen to everything that's happening in sports, as this is the JAYREELZ podcast with Joe JAYREELZ. For my first timers, welcome aboard. And for those who've been banging with me going back to the very beginning, somewhere in the middle, or even as early as this past Thursday, I welcome you guys and gals back. And yes, this is going to be on and popping. So much to discuss, so much to get into, so much to unpack. And I'm going to tip off with the NBA. I want to start there because with both the NBA and NHL starting their postseasons over the weekend, one of my favorite weekends of the year when they open up the playoffs in both sports to get ourselves cooking, to get a little bit of a feel. It's only one game. I understand you can't get too crazy, but pretty much, and I'll start with the NBA, of course, the only thing I can really gather from what I saw over the weekend is, yes, we could talk about the Pistons and what happened to them, and I think they'll be fine in the grand scheme of things. I don't think the sky's going to be falling in Detroit, even if you're my guy J-Rod and Fishing Angel out in Michigan, who are big-time Piston fans. But pretty much what you saw here over the weekend was rather ho-hum. You didn't see a whole hell of a lot. And I wish there's a lot that I could unpack as far as drama, as far as anything that would be alarming when it comes to some of the teams that are the favorites. But this is the lay of the land in the NBA first round year in and year out. Very rare do you get the, let's say, 2 or 3 series that gets to go 7 games or gets to have any type of that suspense where you're thinking, oh, geez, could this team actually lose? Usually the top 4 teams, they move on, or maybe 5, because sometimes you'll have that 5 beat a 4. But it's very rare that you're going to get a 1-8, as we've chronicled many times over here on the podcast over the last, 4 or 5 years, even maybe more than that. And I get it. You have exceptions with Miami beating the Bucks in 2023, but that was a special case with Giannis being out for 2.5 games. I've said that a million times. But with what we saw here, I mean, is there anything that I can really pick out and say, oh, you know what? For game 2, I could see this happening. Or you know what? I could see this development all of a sudden popping up and makes you think that, this series could turn on a dime. Not at all. All right, Kevin Durant didn't play in the game Saturday night against the Lakers, and the Lakers won. Is anybody surprised? And if Durant's going to be in the lineup for game 2 and they win, is anyone going to look at that and say, oh, all right, we'll have a series? Because with the Lakers and the Rockets, we would have thought from the start that it could be at least 6 games. And without Durant there, maybe it'll go 7 at this point. And who knows when his return is going to be forthcoming. But come on, Toronto, Cleveland. All right, it was close there in the first half. And the Cavaliers went on a little bit run to close out the first half. And then the second half, they went past Toronto standing still. So what am I going to gather from that game? Same for the T-Wolves and the Denver Nuggets, and that's a series that could possibly go deep, maybe 6, probably 7. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But the way Denver and how they performed there in game 1 on Saturday afternoon, there wasn't anything that was a revelation where I'm going to think like, oh, Minnesota. And listen, they could tie the series and go to Minnesota, and that could end up being a long series. But to me, I got to believe it when I see it. Knicks and Hawks, same deal. You had a second half where Karl-Anthony Towns went off, scored 19 of his 25 points. The Hawks, they're a little young. Not to say a little young. They are young. The Jalen Johnsons, Dyson Daniels. I mean, those guys, they are a team that can compete. But are you really going to trust in the grand scheme of things, them, crunch time, to have a guy that's going to step up, to have someone that's going to deliver and be that presence on a team where, let's face it, a lot of people that aren't familiar with the NBA, they're going to look at the Hawks. Is Trae Young still there? Obviously, he is not. Same for Kristaps Porzingis. I'm sure there's some people that will think that Dominique Wilkins is on the team. And, of course, I'm being facetious. But my point is that the Hawks, are they going to be a real big threat to the Knicks here in the series? Now, unless tonight, where they'll have game 2, if the Hawks somehow, some way find a way to win that game, then you can say, all right. Now, if they come back to New York with a split at 2-2, I can still see the Knicks winning game 5 and then winning game 6 down in Atlanta. So unless Atlanta comes back here up 3-1, then I'll say, uh-oh, we got something cooking. Or even if they go up 2-1 and the Knicks are down by 18 in the second half of game 4, then I could say, uh-oh, we got something here. But until then, I'm not going to think that the Hawks are going to win that series. Houston and the Lakers, yeah, that could be a series because not knowing the status of Luka Doncic, who obviously did not see suit up, or Austin Reeves for that matter. Now, if Kevin Durant comes back, I think we'll have more of a series, but I can't see the Rockets with, and I like Alperen Şengün. I think he's a very good player. Not really underrated if you watch the NBA, but he's a guy that certainly is a good 2-3. He's not going to be able to carry the load here for the Rockets. I mean, who are we kidding? In the same for Ausar Thompson and, guys like that. I mean, they just, to me, they're like the Hawks without Kevin Durant. They're a similar type of team. So I'm not going to put all my trust in them. So they're going to need Durant in the worst way for that to be a series. And then yesterday, the first 2 games, without Embiid, the Sixers have no shot. And that's Embiid if he's going to play 38 minutes in a game. We didn't even know, A, if he's going to come back. He had the appendectomy 11 days ago, and I had an appendectomy back in 2008, and I understand I'm not and was not a professional athlete. But with the way the surgery's done, it's not as invasive as it once was 20, 30 years ago. And who am I to tell him, oh, he should be in the lineup? I get it. You got to be careful with something like that. But are we going to see him at all in this series? And if we do, how many minutes is he going to play and how effective is he going to be? So to me, this is going to be probably in 5. And I even said Celtics in 5. If Embiid were to play, maybe 6. But that game yesterday, what is it to talk about that game yesterday? Game was over first quarter. Celtics led from the start. And the same can be said about OKC and Phoenix. I mean, what can I unpack there? Now, I know I could talk about the games there Friday night, which would be a perfect segue when I talk about Phoenix, and then I could go talk about Orlando because that'll be the next game, which I could discuss. But Phoenix would beat Golden State and, beat them rather handily to the tune of what's going to happen with the Warriors here with Steve Kerr. Is his tenure done by the Bay? And he even said in the postgame that these jobs have expiration dates. And he's been there 11 years. I believe this is it. And if I was Curry, I'd leave too. And that's no offense to Steph Curry, who has another year on his contract. I believe the same for Draymond. But no, it's time for him to come back next year. And even if they were to revamp their team, which would be actually a little bit difficult considering that they're paying Jimmy Butler $55 million on top of them paying Steph probably somewhere around 60. You're not going to bring in a lot of young players. And even if they re-sign Porzingis, they're going to have to be in a luxury tax because Porzingis is going to command top dollar. And if he stays healthy, I think that would be a great re-signing for them. But that's a big if, underline if, as far as him staying healthy goes. But, yeah, time has run out on its course. It's time for Steve Kerr to maybe take a year off, get the TV, and then maybe when he gets the right job, he'll rebuild and go elsewhere. But to me, the Warriors are done. Come on. I mean, you can see it a mile away. And then I had to throw this in there. I talked about this on my live stream Saturday. It was an impromptu one here on YouTube. But the Draymond, Devin Booker thing, and I understand it's old news, but why is Draymond acting all foolish, pointing up, telling Devin Booker to leave? Bye, goodbye, you're out. The Warriors were gone. They're in Cancun right now. I understand Phoenix is going to be not too far behind them, but I'm so sick of Draymond's antics. I know I've talked about it a million times, and I'm just going to leave it right there. But the Warriors, I think Kerr, who knows? This could be it for him. And for those who are in the room right now, I see comments. I'll get to the comments in the 12 o'clock hour, so please stay put. Hang tight, or if you want to come back at 12, I'll be able to answer questions, comments, etc. So I just want to put that out there for those who are obviously in the chat right now and wondering, hey, JAYREELZ, I'm asking you about this. Or, hey, what about my comment? Gotta be a little bit patient. Let me go through my stream of consciousness here with all that's happening in sports, and I'll move it along. But for Phoenix yesterday, I mean, and I get it. They played about, 39 hours prior to. Had to get on a flight from Phoenix to OKC. Listen, it's not as if they had to go to London, but you knew that they were going to get lambasted there, and that's what you saw. Another game where what can I even unpack? Nothing. There's nothing to discuss. Now, if there is a game to discuss, it's this one, because the Magic, who I thought they ran the Hornets out of the building there on Friday night. I was not expecting that last night. It was almost as if Detroit was a team that was on a bye in the NFL that was a top seed, a team that is rarely a top seed. Take the Tennessee Titans of the 2021 season when they had the number one seed in the AFC, and then the Bengals went in there and they beat them to advance, and that was the year they went to the Super Bowl. Obviously, this isn't the NFL. Obviously, this isn't one and done. But last night, although there may be some that could think, whoa, hey, Orlando, and give it up, Paolo Banchero, who I got on this case last week, who put up a very good game against the Hornets, and obviously another big game for him yesterday, where the Magic played from in front, and even though the Pistons tied it in the third quarter where Cade Cunningham scored 35, but then after that, I believe they gave up a couple of threes, and they never looked back at that point. And the Magic go on to win 112-101. And a lot of people are going to think that, could this be an upset special? Remember, there's a 1-8 matchup. I could see the Pistons run them off the court there Wednesday night. That game has, to me, 118-91 written all over it. Because the Pistons are going to have to sit on this for 3 days. I'm sure if game 2 was tonight, they'd be ready, chomping at the bit, and pumped up to go. But knowing that they have to sit on this, and who knows, maybe Orlando's going to start reading press clippings. Upset special. Look at Orlando. Watch out for Orlando. Pistons are going to hear that too, and therefore this series is going to go back to Orlando tied at 1. If it doesn't, I'd be shocked. So we'll see come later on in the week, especially when this series matures past game 2. And then you had the game last night with Portland and San Antonio. And Portland, as we know, they beat Phoenix in the opening of the play-in tournament. And with Wemby scoring 35, which was a Spurs record debut, where Duncan, I believe, had 32 in his first playoff game back in, I believe it was 99. That was the year they went to the finals. Or it could have been 98 the year before. But the Spurs, and Wemby's, of course, one of the finalists for the MVP. He, SGA, and Jokic, no surprise there. The Spurs are going to be, I think in this round, they're going to handle business. I said in 5. And then we're going to see, hopefully, the series in the next round, which will play against Denver. And Yeah, I wish I had more to discuss there with the NBA people, but there isn't anything else. And I'll take a look at the schedule here as we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, there wasn't anything going on in the NBA other than what you saw in Detroit last night. I can't even say Toronto-Cleveland because that game was over in the second half. The Knicks game, I get it that even the Knicks were up by 19 at one point there, mid-fourth quarter, and then the Hawks went on an 11-0 run. They cut it to 8, but come on, were the Knicks in danger? No. So, yeah, again, I'm just going to be grasping for straws if I'm going to talk about what had transpired and try to dig for any kernel of truth or nugget. Like, say, well, if this happens or I'm not going to manufacture that. So that's what you have in your NBA this weekend. And as far as the week goes, as I pull up the schedule, tonight you have 3 games where you have the Knicks, game 2 against the Hawks. I believe that's the second game. Yeah, that's at 8. The first game is Toronto-Cleveland, and then you have Minnesota and Denver at 10:30. Toronto-Cleveland's on Peacock. The Knicks and Nuggets are on NBC and Peacock. Now, do I see Toronto maybe bouncing back? No. Same for Atlanta. Out of these 3 games, I could see Minnesota getting the equalizer here. That's the one team I'll feel more confident about. But other than that, again, the NBA first round is usually chalk. And yeah, I don't know what else to add here for the games tonight. Tomorrow, Philly at Boston is at 7. That is on Peacock. Portland, San Antonio, NBC and Peacock at 8. Houston at the Lakers, 10:30, NBC, Peacock then. Not knowing the status of KD or even Luka for that matter. You want to throw in Austin Reeves, you could do that too. Yeah, I don't see any of these games. Could I see Houston tying the series? I think they can, especially with Durant in the lineup. But would I be surprised if the Lakers go up 2-0 without Durant? No. But you would think that Durant will come back Friday to play game 3. And where did this knee contusion come from? I don't know. And remember, he's not a spring chicken. And again, it's a knee contusion. It's not a high ankle sprain or a hammy or anything like that. But yeah, I'd be concerned about the Rockets right now because it's not even just for this round. It's for the next round. And we all know they're going to be sacrificial lambs to OKC anyway, but for what it's worth. And then Wednesday, you have Orlando, Detroit, Phoenix, and Oklahoma City. Those games are on ESPN 7 and 9:30 respectively. So yeah, that's what I got there with the association. And I don't think there's anything else to add. Association. No, that is it. So now let me move it as I lace up my skates to the NHL. And unlike the NBA, you have a little bit more intrigue. Not a lot. But you had the games there on Saturday where Carolina shut out Ottawa. I know Brady Tkachuk gets into that mix-up there with Jordan Stahl. I mean, listen, far cry from a heavyweight matchup, let's call it as we see it. But Carolina, I understand there's some circles out there that think Ottawa could surprise people. I don't see it. And I didn't mention this on Thursday. I'll say it now. I know if Carolina were to, let's say, play Tampa, now I wouldn't be to a conference final, but Carolina, if they don't make it to a cup final this year, when will they ever? They're going to play the winner of Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, which I'll get to in a moment. And then the survivor of the Atlantic, where that's Tampa, Montreal, and, of course, the Sabres. Yeah, I listen. I'm not a Carolina fan. I don't like them, never have. But they're tailor-made to get to a cup this year. And not only based on them being a 1 seed, but some of the offseason acquisitions that they made, et cetera. So that was the first game. The second one, here's where people are going to think, oh, hey, here's some intrigue, here's some shock. But sorry, because I got some cold water to throw on you guys. Minnesota came out the gate. 4-0. They got the goal in the first and then 3 in the second, and you thought to yourself, uh-oh. And they go on to win 6-1. Jake Ottinger, not good in goal. Dallas again with another putrid game one. But you got to remember something about the Stars. The Stars in the last 2 years, think about this. In the last 2 years, they lost to Colorado in game one, 5-1, and then they won in 7. And then the year before that, and this was in the conference final. No. I believe, maybe in the conference final. That was 2 years ago. I was when Vegas went to the Cup. But they were also down 2-0 in that series against Vegas, and they came back and won. Now, that may have been a conference final. Let me double check that. Because I remember when I was doing a little research on the Stars, and I remember, especially when it comes to the first round. All right, here we go. As I'm on hockeyreference.com. Yeah, that year, last year we know they lost game one, as I mentioned. No, that was to Edmonton. That we don't want to. All right, without taking too much time, I know that the Stars, they have a penchant for losing these game ones pretty bad. And here it is, another game one. I wouldn't count them out just yet. I know Minnesota, they haven't gotten on the first round in forever, and they have gas in their tank. But even if they go down 2-0, we've seen them come back and win series in a 2-0 deficit while losing the first 2 games in their building. So I wouldn't be quick to start throwing dirt on these Stars. Concerning, yes. Worried, no. And I get it. People always throw this at me. JAYREELZ, what does last year have to do with this year? Well, it shows you something about the grit of their team by them losing game ones badly or losing the first 2 games of a series and coming back and winning. And it's not as if this team has had a complete makeover. So that is one you have to keep in mind when they have game 2, which I believe could be tonight. I'll double check the schedule in a moment. But I'm not one to think that, Stars are on the ropes. And even if they lose game 2, I still wouldn't say that. So keep that in mind as we move it along. Flyers, big win in Pittsburgh. And the one thing about the Flyers, they've played well here down the stretch. Same for Pittsburgh, for that matter. I can't knock them. But I don't know. Pittsburgh, I'm not in love with their goaltending situation. Dom Vladar, I like as a goalie for the Flyers. And, yeah, I almost feel like this is a bad matchup because Philly, they can play physical. They have younger legs. We know Malkin and Letang and Crosby. But, yeah, and listen, one game does not make a series, as we know. Watch Pittsburgh win in 6. But it's going to be very telling this game, too, to see whether or not Pittsburgh either jumps on Philly and wins, let's say 5-1 or 5-2, or they're in another nail-biter where even if they do win, whether it's a 1-goal game or if it goes into overtime and they win, I'd still be concerned about the Penguins moving forward. And I wouldn't trust them. And the Flyers, they could be a tough out. So, they're going to be. I'm not saying they could be. I think they're going to be. So that's what I had with the game there Saturday night. And then to cap off the schedule there, because there wasn't a 4th game that Saturday. That was it for the games over the weekend or over Saturday. And then yesterday, Colorado. Now, LA, I'm going to say they are dangerous, but I think they could be. Now, granted, they were down 2-0, and I know they scored that goal late and made you think that, score was a little bit closer than indicated. But when you have a scenario where the Kings, who are an 8th seed, and going up against that juggernaut, although I'm not in love with Scott Wedgwood, their goaltender, I would think Colorado's going to make quick work of the Kings. I said 5. And to me, LA's going to have to win game 2 if they have any shot to win the series as a big underdog. So that we'll have to wait and see. But the other surprise was in Tampa yesterday where the Canadiens, now 3 of their 4 goals were from the power play. And I know there were some stupid penalties. John Cooper was roasting his team on that, playing very sloppy. And Jake Gunsel, what are you doing there with the high stick about 21 seconds left in regulation? And it goes into overtime. And let me see if I pronounce his name correctly. Yeah, Juraj Slavkovsky. Yeah. Me and my tongue-tied self. For Slavkovsky to get the winner in overtime and also record a hat trick in the process. And Tampa, we know about their pedigree, and I understand they haven't been to a cup in a few years, but still, you can't discount what they've done here in the early part of this decade. But Victor Hedman, who did not play but is back with the team, hasn't been with the team since the middle of March. And I wouldn't be overly concerned if I'm Tampa. Granted that Montreal has now stolen the home ice, but let's see what happens in game 2. I think Tampa will rebound. I think they'll bounce back, and they'll correct a lot of those mistakes. And I think they'll win a rocking chair type game. Now, rocking chair in the NHL is like 4-1, but I certainly wouldn't discount Tampa as of right this moment. So for those who are thinking that the Canadiens, maybe this is going to be a team where they're going to take charge. And we all know, Stanley Cup Playoffs, it is literally a crapshoot. Just because a team, whether they're a slight or heavy underdog, doesn't mean that they can't get out of these series alive, similar to the NBA, especially in the first round, when a lot of those 1-8, 2-7 matchups, it's usually quick work. So that was the second game. And then the Bruins, who had a 2-0 lead, it was 1-0 going into the third. I saw some of this. Scored a goal there early third period, and you thought to yourself, can the Bruins? And I thought that was going to be an interesting matchup for the Sabres. First time in the playoffs in 15 years. And for them to navigate a playoff where they have the home ice, and that's a 2-7 matchup, and you thought Jeremy Swayman may be able to take his team home, at least for game 1. Not the case. With about, I think it was a little over 8 minutes to go, maybe more than 8. Around 8 minutes to go, third period, Tage Thompson gets on the scoreboard, and then that's when the floodgates started to open. So in a matter of about 6 minutes, the Sabres score 4 goals, and they get an empty netter and that fourth goal. And even though the Bruins did tack on another goal there late, but very impressive there down the stretch. They turned it on when they absolutely had to, and that was a huge win for the Sabres, because if they would have lost that game, who knows? Would a little doubt start permeating, certainly in the fans' heads, maybe even in the players, where the Bruins for, think about it, almost more than 2.5 periods, looked like they had the game in control, and therefore now they lose the game 1. They have to rebound and see whether or not that they could go back into that building and try to even that series before going back to Boston. So for the Bruins, that could be a loss that they may kick themselves when it's all said and done, knowing. Now, granted, it was still 8 minutes to go, plenty of time, I get it. But the dam collapsed after that first goal by Thompson. And therefore, you saw what transpired right after that. And I think that was a good sign for the Sabres to win that game the way they did, because this group, not being in the postseason together, not knowing how their confidence would be, understands riding high based on their big-time regular season, but obviously the regular season is done. So we'll see how we go. We'll see where we go from here, as the Sabres win a big game. And then last night, where Utah, in their first playoff game, obviously by way of Phoenix as the Arizona Coyotes, but the Golden Knights with 3 third-period goals. They were down 2-1 going into the third, and I'm sure the Mammoth fans, the 20 that are of you outside of the Salt Lake City area, where the Golden Knights were able to get the power play goal by Mark Stone, and for them to then take the lead just about less than 2 minutes later, that's when you knew it was going to be curtains for Utah and the Mammoth. A lot of people thought that maybe Utah could make some hay here in this series, maybe push it to a 6th game. I even forgot what I said. What did I say that no, I actually posted it on my socials yesterday. I think I picked them in 5, the Golden Knights. So that is pretty much your opening weekend. Now, Anaheim has not played Edmonton yet. That's the last series that has not been able to be underway, which will be tonight. And I'll go through the schedule in a moment. But, all right, Montreal, Tampa, fine. You have Minnesota, Dallas, which has some intrigue. Besides that, not a whole hell of a lot to report when it comes to the NHL in the postseason. But we'll see how the schedule unfolds here in the early part of the week as we get to the midweek and beyond. Now, as far as your schedule here, tonight, 4 games, ESPN or ESPN2, and in this order. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Ottawa, Carolina, Minnesota at Dallas, Anaheim at Edmonton. 7, 7:30, 9:30, and 10. Tomorrow, Montreal at Tampa, Boston at Buffalo, Utah, Vegas, LA at Colorado. ESPN2 or ESPN, 7, 7:30, 9:30, and 10. And then Wednesday, you'll have 3 games, Pittsburgh at Philly, Dallas at Minnesota, Anaheim at Edmonton, TNT or TBS, 7, 9:30, and 10. And that will be your early part of the week schedule. Now, who will be able to rebound? I think Dallas will. I think Pittsburgh will win game 2 tonight. I could see that. I see Carolina winning tonight. Tampa. Buffalo could go up 2-0. Now they got their sea legs after a sluggish start. And at Vegas, I think will go up 2-0 as well. And that is it. That is your NHL there in a big nutshell. And now let's get to it, people, because I'm going to turn my attention to baseball as I get in the batter's box, as I unlace the skates. What do I say about this Met team that I haven't already said? If you listen to the podcast on on Thursday, the Mets get swept by LA en route to Chicago. They were losers of 8 straight at that time. And then I said that the GM of the Mets, David Stearns, needs to be gone, out, bye-bye, sayonara. Am I going to bang that drum again? I will not, because you know how I feel about that. Theo does need to go. It is time. Oh, I said Theo, you hear me? David Stearns needs to go for Theo, that being Theo Nathaniel Epstein, and I'll leave it right there. End of story. But here's what I got to say today about this Met team. Carlos Mendoza. I think, and this is a prediction. Talked about this on my live stream, my podcast pregame prior to this podcast. I think if he does not have a good series against the Twins, and mind you, they're off today, and the team had a day off on Thursday. So it's not as if the team has played 3 straight weeks or they haven't had time off. No, they've had breathers here and there. So now, if I'm Carlos Mendoza on the flight back from Chicago, I would have told my team, don't even think about baseball. Don't look at the baseball. Don't do anything. Be with your families, regroup, and on Tuesday we're coming back. And forget about winning series or going on winning streaks. We're just winning Tuesday's game. And they got the right guy pitching in the game because that will be Nolan McLean towing the rubber tomorrow night at Citi Field against the Minnesota Twins, who have just lost 4 in a row and actually have played pretty well. They were 11-7 now at 500. But if Mendoza has a bad 3 days to where the Mets can't score and the Mets can't field and they lose 6-2, 6-1, 5-0, maybe they win one of those games, but even if they win 2 out of 3, but they do not play crisp baseball, they are embarrassed yet again, 3 hits, 1 hit, whatever it is, as we've seen here over the last God knows how long, I believe Mendoza will get fired before the Rockies come to town this weekend. Because whoever's going to be the manager you would think the organization is going to want to have a safety net. They're going to have a guy that it's not as if the Dodgers are coming to town next week or this coming weekend. It's not as if the Yankees are going to be playing at Citi Field, which that's going to be a month from now. Well, now about 3 weeks from this coming weekend. Or a team that's playing well above their heads that coming into Citi Field where you're not going to fire a guy and then have that new manager go right into the frying pan. So I think if Mendoza does not have a good next 3 days, starting tomorrow, he could get fired. And I'll even predict that he will get fired. Just for grins and giggles. And Mendoza yesterday, his explanation was just, it was, I hate to say it, was stupid. When asked in the 10th inning how Craig Kimbrell on the mound and thinking about walking Nico Hoerner, and he said, no, I'm not going to walk him there because he could steal second and you have a situation second and third. I'm not going to do that. That run means nothing. Why would you worry about Hoerner? If anything, you could have walked Hoerner to pitch to Michael Busch, who's batting 164 and was 0-4 in the game. Why even give Hoerner an at-bat? And then on top of that, besides the awful explanation, Saturday, where the game was 1-1, Freddie Peralta walks 2 guys, and I understand Peralta's been good, but and I wasn't even in love with the trade when they got him from Milwaukee. That's where David Stearns comes in. But for Peralta will walk the 2 guys, then they bring in Brooks Raley, pinch hitters Carson Kelly. Brooks Raley, who hasn't given up a home run since 2023. What does he promptly do? First pitch to Carson Kelly, over the ivy and left, 4-1. You knew at that point the game was over. Can I kill Mendoza for that? It's easy to. It's low-hanging fruit, but all right. Yesterday, I'm sorry, he doesn't get a pass. 1 out, you walk Hoerner there, that's it. End of story. Now, I understand he can still steal second. Kimbrell will throw the first once, twice, then he can steal. So what? That run means nothing. So Mendoza is right now on the hot seat. And then people are going to say, well, JAYREELZ, if you want him fired, I don't want Mendoza fired. Granted that he is part of the problem. That's why I talk about Stearns. No need to go there. But Mendoza's going to have to make it up quick. And now it's going to lead to the third thing to talk about this team. Francisco Lindor. Now, Lindor in the postgame came out and said that, it's going to be loud at Citi Field. That every move we make, and I'm paraphrasing, everything we do, everything that's going to happen, they're going to be watching us. So we're going to have to continue to fight and break out of it and put forth our best. Which he's right. But there's some people that came out and said, why does he have to be so gloom and doom? Why can't he be like, hey, guys, let them boo. We could turn those boos around to cheers, yada, 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 etc. I actually like the honesty because guess what? He is right. Could you imagine first inning, Twins, you get an error, and I don't know what the lineup is, obviously, whatever, but let's just say for argument's sake, Brett Beatty plays first and he boots a ball like he did in Wrigley on Friday where, run prevention, David Stearns. You got guys out of position all over the place. So if they have a bad first inning or a bad inning altogether, but let's say he's come out of the gate, Nolan McLean walks the first guy, then a base hit, then you get an error. Then, the 10,000 that are going to be out there because it's going to be chilly at Citi Field. It is going to be ugly. And this is why I said that Mendoza is going to have a good series here. Win 2 out of 3. Do something along those lines. Because, come on, there is no way, shape, form, argument that this team, pardon me with that, there's no way that this team, even if they win a game, that if they are embarrassingly bad, how does the manager survive with the Rockies coming to town? And the Rockies who just beat the Dodgers twice, and they conclude their series against the Dodgers in a 4-game series now. What makes me think, can't they tell them on the phone? Jeez, my apologies. It's a situation where the manager, he's not going to be able to outlast that, because if he does not show that he's capable of making a smart decision, or pulls McLean early tonight, or has a player out of position and coughs it up in a big spot, there's no way that he's going to make it to the weekend. And dare I even say, they lose 14 in a row? Oh, no. We haven't seen a losing streak like this since 2004. 22 years. I mean, how much longer can the Met family absorb this? Now, let me get back to Lindor for a second. So he makes these comments, and we know he has not played well to start. Bone lapse, or he has mind lapse out in the field. Boneheaded plays, that's what I want to say originally. I don't know what else to say, but it has to get better. When? I don't know. How soon? Not soon enough. And I like what he said yesterday, because he was being honest. This is New York. You ain't fooling anybody. You ain't pulling any wool over anybody's eyes. If he were just to go the high road, and he could have taken the high road, which nobody would have killed him for it. But I also understand that by him saying that, it makes you think like, oh, geez, if he's the one saying this, how does the rest of the team feel? And yeah, you could kill Lindor for him being honest and making those statements yesterday. But all I did was say, he's right. Because the fan base is tired. The fan base is fed up. The fan base is aggravated, exasperated, frustrated, you name it. And it's bad enough that you got these Yankee trolls, as I saw on Twitter yesterday. There was actually people, guys in the bleachers that are probably 21, 22 years old. Bunch of clowns anyway. Watching the Mets lose on their phone while at the Yankee game. Worry about your own team. In fact, your team should have lost 9 in a row going into that Royal series. So let's start there. And your bullpen is garbage. And let me not even go there, because now I'm starting to get to their level. And also, this goes to David Stearns. Devin Williams yesterday. Yesterday. 1-0 lead, 9th inning. Base hit, and then who gets the game-tying double? Michael Conforto. The old Met, former number one pick by the Mets. I mean, it just... And Devin Williams was stand-up guy. He faced the media saying, that's on me. I got to lock that game down, etc. I tell you. And just as I sit here and I have my... rubbing my temple, I'm out of words. I'm out of words. There isn't anything else to say. I said what I said about Stearns on Thursday. Go back and check that. And now Mendoza. This is it for Mendoza. I mean, let's call it as we see it. His Met tenure could be over as early as Thursday. We shall see. And to think, the Mets aren't the only team. Now, they're the laughingstock because they've lost 11 in a row, which, please, that's going to supersede anything else to what some other teams are doing. But let's call it as we see it. The Phillies aren't that far behind the Mets either. And the Phillies, who just got swept by the Braves, and oh, by the way, they're 7.5 games ahead of the Mets in the East already. But for the Phillies, I mean, what gives? I understand that there's some age on this team. And without Christopher Sanchez, who I know lost the other night, but you got to wonder whether or not are the Phillies going to click at any point. And it was, I picked them to go to a World Series. So, and not to put that as a jinx by any means, but yeah, I picked them to go to a World Series against the Mariners for those who didn't tune into the Major League Baseball preview a few weeks ago. Shame on you, but no, I kid. But what's going to happen there in the city of brotherly love? Certainly not a lot of love for that baseball team right about now, as they're 8-12 or 8-13, excuse me. And then, how about the Astros? They were 6-3 until they played Colorado, and Colorado swept them in Colorado. But since that start, they are 2-12, and they are at 8-15. And to think, the Mets are tied with the Royals for the worst record in the sport. And baseball, I tell you, when you take a look at the landscape, which is crazy, because you look at the NL Central, which has teams well above 500. I mean, what's going on there? Now, granted that they're all separated by one game or a game and a half, if you look at the standings. Reds in first place as they come off of a sweep of the Twins. Could the Mets maybe have any luck with the Twins coming into Citi Field? The Cardinals, who I thought were going to be awful, and they could still do that, but they not only win the last two against the Guardians, but sweep the Astros in Houston. And the Cardinals are looking pretty good and formidable right now. Pirates, who played Tampa and won 2 out of 3. And Tampa, who was in first place, where now the Yankees overtook them in the AL East. Cubs, who swept the Mets, as we talked about. Brewers, who won 2 out of 3 in Miami against the Marlins. And you have a very competitive NL Central. Now, get back to me come 4th of July, maybe a different story, but hey. And how about the Padres? Dodgers lose tonight. They're in a flat-footed first-place tie with the Dodgers. Now I think the Dodgers will lose tonight, even though they have, I believe Justin Robleski's pitching tonight, is he not? Yeah, and then Yamamoto tomorrow and Shohei on Wednesday. So who knows what's going to happen there as the Dodgers have lost 2 out of 3 in Colorado. And could Colorado actually make it 3 out of 4 by the end of tonight? But baseball, and I will say this. Tigers, after 3-9 start, have won 9 of 10. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, no, they've won. No, is that right? Hold on. Because they were 3. No, they were 3-8. So my apologies there. Guardians at 13-10. I know Toronto, they've been hurt and they've been putrid. And the Red Sox, they have not clicked at all. Those will be a couple of disappointments there. And Pete Alonso has not gotten on track there in Baltimore. I mean, Alonso still has, the 1 home run? Or he's hit another one home since. He's batting .207, striking out a ton. But baseball right now, I truly believe that baseball, and as a matter of fact, the Red Sox are playing because it's it's Patriots Day up there, Boston Marathon going on as we speak. I think baseball and what we've seen here in these first almost month of the season, it'll be a month this coming Wednesday, between the NL Central, AL Central, is going to be topsy-turvy. Not with the White Sox or Royals, notwithstanding those two teams. But even in the AL West, you have, as bad as the Astros have been, but at least Texas The Athletics, the Angels, and Mariners are all separated by a game and a half. And the Mariners have been big-time disappointments, too. Although they won the back two of their series against the Rangers. But you got to like what you see from baseball in this regard. There has been some balance. I understand imbalance with the Mets, the Phillies, the Mariners, the Astros. But it's good to see other teams actually hanging in there, doing well. And how long that's going to last? Even the Diamondbacks are 13-9 and 3-0 behind the Dodgers. So it's not as if teams have run away and hid. It's not as if the bad teams have gotten off to terrible starts. I mean, yeah, you can talk about White Sox, and the Rockies have been respectable considering. But I like the way baseball has come out of the gate here in this first almost month of the season. Now, we understand things will change at the drop of a hat. We could talk about this around this time next month, which, let me see. Today's the 20th. Memorial Day is 25th. Now, you're still 6 weeks away from Memorial Day. Or is that right? Maybe 5 or 6 weeks. But you got to like what you see here in baseball in this early part of the season. At least I do. And before I get to the schedule, two things. The Padres are close to being sold $3.9 billion to a couple of people. One is actually Latino, too. Let me pull that up real quick. What is this about? Amid threats. What? Uh-oh. Let's see this. Yankees pitcher Cam Schlittler said he and his family have received death threats ahead of his start against the Red Sox. What? Come on. Oh, you grew up a Red Sox fan. And, all right. So Schlittler's going to go up against them. And, yeah, no Garrett Crochet in that Yankee series. So that's a bummer for the – is Crochet pitching today? Is that where it is? No, Crochet's not pitching. Sonny Gray is. And that means Gray's not going to pitch against the Yankees, too, the comments he mentioned in the offseason against his former club. But the Padres, they are about to be sold. And that is big news because for those teams that are out there that are looking to sell, that is a good sign. Padres sold. That's what I wanted to get. Or Padres sale. How about that? So I'm trying to do this live. Yeah, finalizing sale for MLB record $3.9 billion. And to Jose Feliciano, co-owner of a Chelsea football club, and his wife, Kwanzaa Jones. So that will be the highest paid, which tops the $2.4 billion that the Steve Cohen and the Mets back in 2020. So that's some newsworthy item there for baseball. But then the other thing is, too, in a very sad just sad news with Garrett Anderson. Reported that he died of a heart attack, 53 years of age. The former Angel, who was very steady, professional hitter, very good outfielder, good run producer, was that part of that 2002 Angel team that won a World Series, had the big hit in Game 7 that cleared the bases with a double. The start by John Lackey, that Game 7 against the Giants. Very underrated player, steady player, solid player, good numbers. Thoughts, prayers, condolences go out to his family, the Angels, Major League Baseball. I mean, geez. When you have a player just go that too young, I mean, he's not even a player anymore, but my point is that to have somebody that was and also did pre and post for Angel games, when you have a guy who was a big contributor to a World Series team. And it didn't seem that long ago, although it was, 24 years since they won. But, man, just a terrible story. And, again, just condolences go out to the Anderson family, the Angels, Major League Baseball. It's just awful. Now, as far as the schedule goes for baseball this week, you have Red Sox and Tigers finishing up their series today. Red Sox are up 2-1 at the moment. You have Houston at Cleveland, Cincinnati at Tampa, St. Louis at Miami, Atlanta at Washington, Baltimore at KC, Philly at Chicago, Cubs, that is. Dodgers concluding their series against the Rockies, Toronto at the Angels, Athletics at Seattle, and then the other series tomorrow, Atlanta at Washington, Yanks, Red Sox, Twins at Mets, Pittsburgh at Texas, San Diego, Colorado, White Sox at Arizona. So those are the other series that will conclude the early part of the week. All right, now as I take off my cleats and put on the helmet and shoulder pads, it is NFL Draft Week. And the draft has already been impacted by a trade that took place on Saturday where the Giants traded Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals for the number 10th overall pick, which means that the Giants not only have the number 5 pick, but they also have the 10th pick. So 2 of the top 10 picks belong to the G-Men. I was surprised to see that the Bengals, and I understand they needed a defensive lineman in the worst way, considering Trey Hendrickson was going to the Ravens, and this was in light of what happened with Max Crosby. But here's the thing. I thought the Bengals overpaid. I understand they needed a guy. Is Dexter Lawrence John Randall? He is not. I know he has put up some great numbers here over the years, last year notwithstanding, but is this a scenario where Lawrence, and they've made some upgrades on that defense. They brought in the Seattle linebacker. They brought in a couple other guys there to fortify their defense. As we all know, their defense was Swiss cheese last year, the Bengals. But I thought that was to me, to give up that number 10 overall, you couldn't get a guy at 10 that could be a force where you didn't have to pay and extend them $28 million on top of that. Listen, and the Bengals don't usually make moves like that. But I guess they thought Dexter Lawrence was going to turn out, like I said, to be John Randall. So, and with the Giants getting those picks with 5 and 10, you kind of wonder where they're going to go. A lot of people think that maybe they could get the linebacker, Sonny Styles, that maybe the Cowboys are going to try to get, and they're going to have to move up big time in order for them to do that. And you know me, people, I don't put forth a mock draft or anything like that. Now, Wednesday on the live stream at 12 noon, I'll talk more about the NFL draft. I'll get into maybe even some of the rumors that I'm sure we'll hear between now and then, what could transpire, especially in the first round. After that, listen, it is a coin flip. I couldn't tell you who's going to be drafted second, third, or beyond that. Sleepers, things of that nature. But I'll roll my sleeves up and we'll get into it at that time. But the NFL at this present moment, I know draft, everybody's going to be pumped up. Drafts in Pittsburgh this year. I know there's going to be a lot of talk about Aaron Rodgers, which I'm not going to discuss until it's official whether or not he's going to retire or come back as a member of the Steelers to reunite with his old coach, Mike McCarthy. But, yeah, the Giants. And I would think they're going to go defense, and they'll probably go offense too. Who knows? Do they even think about drafting one of the receivers, whether it's Jordan Tyson, whether it's Carnell Tate? Maybe a little high, but with Malik Neighbors coming off of an ACL and you got Jackson Dart, you want to have some weapons for your guy. Remember, Wan'Dale Robinson went elsewhere this offseason. I think the Giants did bring back a receiver. Oh, yeah, they brought, how could I forget? Calvin Austin III, formerly of the Steelers, but he's a good receiver in the slot. You need another wideout, so maybe they go wide out there and maybe linebacker or defensive lineman just to kind of put back what they gave up in Lawrence. So we shall see. I'm looking forward to it. We know the draft Thursday night, first round, second and third round there on Friday, and then 4 through 7 Saturday afternoon. That pretty much will be a draft. And again, we'll talk more about that on the podcast. On the live stream come Wednesday. here on the channel on YouTube. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. And let me see. Is there anything else I could unpack there with the NFL? Oh, Trent Williams did sign 2 years, $50 million. Now, the only thing you're concerned about him is his health. He is 38 years of age. He is not a spring chicken by any means necessary. And as I pull up, I just want to double check his age. Yeah, 2 for 50. He gets $37 million fully guaranteed, including a $22 million signing bonus. And yeah, John Lynch talking about him. Yeah, I believe he's 38. I'm just, for whatever reason, it's not coming up. Is that? No, that's hockey. Here we go. Trent Williams. Anyway, take it for what it's worth. If Williams is healthy and he plays all 17 games, absolutely. Yeah, by the time the start of training camp comes, he'll be 38. He's a mountain of a man. He's not going to have the same footwork as he once had, but he still has the length and the girth to slow down anybody that's coming off of that right edge there for him to play left tackle to protect Brock Purdy's backside. And again, the big if, healthy. These guys don't grow on trees. These guys obviously get paid the amount of money they do. In his case, $50 million. 2 years, $37 million of that guaranteed. Hey, God bless him. But if you had an over-under of games played, I'll say 11.5. You're taking over-under. Maybe that's a little bit too high. I would say maybe 13.5. Not maybe 12.5 to be safe. But hopefully he doesn't have any nagging injuries. You can already see that. Training camp, he's not really healthy. He's not going to play in the preseason, blah, blah, blah. So we have plenty of time to chew on that between today and the open of training camp, or even OTAs for that matter, which who knows? He may be on a stationary bike just trying to get some activity there as opposed to him being suited up and playing in these games. So, or in the preseason games in particular. So, yeah, I think that does it, people. Now let me get to your questions, comments, etc. Timothy Martin, they will take 2 in Atlanta. The Knicks, I could see that. I didn't catch the end of the Spurs game last night. Who won? Yeah, Spurs won. What was it? Final score? I think they won by like a dozen, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. Hold on. Just for you, so I could be accurate there. Yeah, it was 13. 111.98 was your final. Should have known that off the top of my head, but they're not. Oh, look at this. Of course, I got to bring this up. Stephen A. The Pistons are in trouble because of how they lost game 1. Stop. I understand you got to say something. But enough of this garbage. All right. All right. Back to your comments. I'm just looking at these headlines here. That's critique. Val saying hello. What is this? Wave man. You're right. The Rockets need more star players to carry in the future. Oh, will help. I totally agree. No KD, no nothing, no wins. Former LSU. Oh, wow. Well, good for him to get that done and get it rid of. So let's hope Garrett Nussmeier is going to be healthy once the start of the season comes. And Val, thank you for that. Uh-oh. Actually, show. Of course, he's emotional. Yeah. I mean, that's him. Spurs won last night. I didn't count. Yeah, they did critique. They won 111.98. Zip drive. Oh, yeah. It has been a while, critique. How you doing? Everything good? Hope you're still with us here. Zip saying go New York, go New York, go. Steelers have. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's a Steeler way there, unfortunately. Doubt is for Toronto. Wait. Doubt is for Toronto and ATL. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, Michelle, come on. Me? That's what I do. I talk. Will Howard be the QB1? Oh, really? Wow, okay. Critique. Tell us how you really feel. Do you think the Pistons are going to win the series? Yes, I love Kyrie. Absolutely. Oh, Flyer fan. I can see them winning the series. I really can. This one off season. Yeah, it's all about the reps. We know that. As of now. All right. 78 bonuses. Look at that. That's since 2021, not the 50 you just got here. Let's see. What are you talking about? Just got in now? We're talking Trent Williams, talking NFL draft. Now, I know this was what, half an hour ago when you wrote this. A little more than that. So, my apologies. But yeah, talking sports day, new live. Yeah, happy 420 because today is that. Yes, it is. Yes. Fishing Angel. Good afternoon. I know Pistons lost. Not good. Not good. A lot of April 20th love here. Getting thrown around the room. Yep. You're right. 11:30. That weird. Yeah, you know what? It's the reason why is because it's the Patriots Day, and that's when they run the Boston Marathon. So that's why they have that game at that time. Here we go, Fuqua, a.k.a. Everyday Mets. Wrote a pen mark. Kai Boo Bull. Tatsuya Mai. Yeah, they are. Let's call it as we see it. They are. I got the scars all over my body. I'm sure you got them all over your body. So that is not a stretch to say. Yes. Out of here. I want them long gone. Fathers. Yep. It is. There are people doing a scam saying they're parking. What is that? What is that for the You're talking about the game last night? I mean, there's always people trying to get over. If that was me and they tried that, I'm turning them into speed. Oh, I hear that. No, that's, yeah. Yep. It is. Yeah. The starters are the greatest week of the year. I agree with NBA, NHL playoffs. You got the draft, baseball. Doesn't get any better than that. Oh, is that right, Zip? Oh, I know you're on top of that. That's good. Congrats to him. Lindor needs to go. Mental answers. Well, Fuqua, how do you feel about his comments yesterday? Saying that, oh, it's going to get loud. You know, something along those lines where, yeah, I thought by him being honest was a positive, not a negative, but it is sports media in New York. Snowing? Oh, my goodness. If it snowed here, I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. Oh, nothing that's stuck? All right, that's good. Oh, I like that. Thank you, Fishing Angel. Appreciate that big time. Val with the wave. Hold on. Love to see the Pirates get a. That would be cool. I was playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle for Nintendo. Oh, was it? Yeah, I never played that for Nintendo. Yeah, 2-1 now. Last I saw. Yep, Theo Epstein. Ages of the pages. Yeah, I did see that. Thank you, Val. Fishing is walking around. Oh my gosh. I'll post this on here for fun. Hey, totally understand. Yes. Oh, is that right? Oh, geez, Bio. Sorry to read that. Yeah, Garrett Anderson. I know, it's just terrible. Terrible. Yep, I second that. Dex was out of shape, had injury issues for the Giants to get a first round. Thank you, Bengals. Yeah, absolutely. That was a very good move by the Giants. Talking Michigan's Alliance are trying to trade. I wonder why they want to do that. Trade Sam Laporta. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Bigger staff keeps coaching. Well, yeah. If he does do that, you're absolutely right. Nope, has nothing to do with anything you just said. That's why it's the greatest. Oh, okay. I hear you, J-Rod. Pistons will win. I think they will too. Flotto, cheers. Welcome. Wow, repeat winner. Congratulations to her. Good for her there, Zip. Thanks for posting that. And no worries. You're here now. Whatever basketball you have, I already covered the basketball. But no, whatever basketball stuff you have on your mind there, Vlado, we could talk about it. Yeah, really, just in a nutshell, NBA was not exciting over the weekend. I know that the Magic win, at least it gives that series a little intrigue. Lakers without Durant, same. Who knows when Durant's going to return? Same for Luka, Austin Reeves. The other games were just, I understand that the Spurs yesterday with the Trailblazers, but they weren't in any way, shape, or form a threat to lose that game. So, what is this? Yes, for you, Jay. Absolutely. I'm sure you're excited, anticipating that. And then that'd be cool. But I know I got to qualify for the Boston Marathon. And you would know better than anybody. Why qualify for the Boston Marathon and not necessarily the other races, whether it's New York City Marathon, Berlin, what's the other one? Anyway, yeah, it'll come to me. Let's see. We could see you running in Boston with the Celtics. That'd be cool. If I could do that, I would, without question. All right, let's see what else we got here real quick. Oh, my battery. All right, bear with me, guys. Let me just plug this in. Laptop battery is low. Yeah, so Vlado, yeah, NBA right now. Wait till we get to the next round. The next round is really going to be where it's at. Because you're going to have probably Detroit, Cleveland, Knicks, Celtics rematch, Denver, San Antonio, and any combination of Lakers, Rockets, and OKC. If I'm Adam Silver, I'm sure he's going to want the Lakers to get there. LeBron, if Luka comes back against OKC, yeah. Not so much the Rockets. Yeah, but that is pretty much it, people. That's what I got. Yeah, and this thing with, hold on. Yeah, this thing with A.J. Brown likely to be traded to the Patriots post June 1st. Now, I don't know. Does this come on the heels of the whole Diana Rossini deal and whatever words were exchanged between her and Mike Vrabel, the coach of the Patriots? I do not know, but it's definitely a little fishy, but hey. Let me see. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, you're right about this. I am overdue for a marathon. It'll be 10 years in November. Yeah, I want to do. Yeah, I would like to do the New York City Marathon again. That definitely. What I want to do is I want to do the Miami Marathon. Because the Miami Marathon, Zip, have you ever done that one? It starts in downtown. It goes, let me think. It starts downtown by Bayside, right there, which is near the arena where the Miami Heat play. You go past that, you go over the causeway into South Beach. You go South Beach up to the next causeway, which is like 40-something Street. Because when you go over the causeway into South Beach, that's 5th Street. That next causeway up there is like 40, it's like 41st Street. Because that's right before the Fontainebleau. You cross that causeway, Julia Tuttle. Then you come down through Midtown. I don't think you go as far west as Wynwood, but I think you come Midtown to Edgewater. Then that one part of downtown over the bridge. Then you go through Brickell, and then Brickell back over the bridge to Bayfront, and that's your marathon. Yeah, I would love to. And they do that in the 3rd weekend of January, which maybe I could try to get to do next year. Asar and Stewart are the only players playing defense yesterday. And I don't understand how you get yourself back in the game. Huh. So, are you not happy with JB Bickerstaff, J-Rod? I know they tied it at 65, and then that was it. It's like they came back, tied, and then ran out of gas. Nah, just New York City is – what the hell was that? Is keep trying for Chicago. Oh, that'd be nice too. Chicago. When is that? Isn't that in is that September? I want to say September, late September, that race. Oh, Fishing Angel, thank you. Oh, wait, what is this by J-Rod? JAYREELZ runs a marathon. J-Rod quit smoking cigarettes is a deal. Oh, is that right? When's the next marathon? Well, besides New York. What if I just ran my own marathon? Would that count? Or do I actually have to run a race that is backed and, it's legit? So even if I ran 26.2, that's not enough. I have to run in a marathon. I am not. That was embarrassing last night. I think they'll be fine, though. Yeah, I'm not worried about them. I know. I think Stephen A. made a comment about them being, what is it? Let me see. I'm going to have to scroll about 20 times. Whoop, hang on. Yeah, Detroit is in trouble because of how they lost game 1. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's it. All right. Fuqua. Avoid. Oh, have you done that, Fuqua? In fact, I have a friend of mine. Shout out to Philip. He did an ultra there 2 Decembers ago and actually ran the last, I think it was 2.5 laps, maybe 3. No. Yeah, I think I ran the last 3 laps with him. I ran Prospect Park, and I've run it before in the past. And yeah, he did an ultra, 33.8 miles. Yeah, I know there is that one hill, kind of like Central Park. What do they call that hill? Up on 110th Street, which can be brutal. But yeah, avoid that marathon. Fuqua, do you run Prospect Park? I know you do a lot of treadmill stuff, but I don't get how he coached that game. Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch that to get a better sense of that. If you can't get to New York City, remember run my group. Yes. December. When in December? Yeah, Zip is a big runner, big supporter of the run community. Definitely I love what you do, James. You know that. Yeah, I'd be curious to hear what you got to say about that. All right, here we go. And I could have did what Jalen Duren did to that whole game. He didn't go for a rebound. Yeah. Yeah, I could see them just having a big game too. Stephen A is a clown. Everyone knows that. Detroit 4-2 win. So there you go. Vlado said it right there. Harlem Hill, yes. Thank you, Zip. I ran Prospect Park once, never again. Yeah, I remember running that with Philip. It wasn't that bad. I liked it. December 6th. All right. Is that a Saturday or Sunday? I would think that's a Sunday. Wait, hold on. If I can think off the top of my head. Yeah, Thanksgiving. Let's just look it up. It's probably a Sunday if I had to take a guess. Calendar. That is a Sunday. Oh, there you go. Wow. Way to go, Val. Yes, thank you, Zip. All right, no, and I'll certainly keep that in mind. And that's in Queens. Is that in is that at Flushing Meadow? Where that marathon's run? I still feel the Pistons can win. Oh, hey, it happens. It happens, J-Rod. I mean, listen, I understand the expectations. There's no way. How do we lose? You guys will be all right. Yeah. Sign me up too. Oh, Flushing Meadow. All right. So what is it? I'm curious. I'm sure they probably have one lap it'll be a little bit more than 10K because you can't do 6.2 because if you do the math, that's 24.8. I'm sure they probably got one that's about 6. What's 26.2? Well, I got my calculator open. I don't know if there's going to be enough. 26.2 divided by. No, back. That is 6.55 miles. Oh, 8 loops? All right. Yeah, shout out to you, Zip, for that thing with Keith, man. I appreciate that. I really do. That was cool. I'm sorry I missed that, too. I didn't even go back and not until the next day when I saw that. And yeah, no, Keith and I, what we want to do is we want to run up Broadway. Yeah, I'm going to before. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got to reach out to him this week. Yeah, I know he's having fun with this, the Met trolling. 8 loops. Yeah, that could be done. Punter in high school. Were you, J-Rod? You punted? When I sneeze, I sound like a kitten. Oh, that's got to be cute. I played punt and wide receiver, but football was my sport back then, basketball. Yeah, I played football in grade school, not high school. Yeah, I mean, baseball was my sport. That's what I wanted to play. I actually played basketball in high school in 9th grade. You and Keith, that would be some nice sponsorship. Listen, that's what I would love. That, whether sponsors or obviously we'll chronicle that, put that on social. We'll vlog that. Yeah, that was fun, man. I did that New Year's Eve. Yeah, I definitely want to do that again. And in fact, I got news for you. Even if, let's say, if we don't do it, I don't know. And I'm sure Keith's he's a guy of his word. Even if for some reason he doesn't do it, I'll make a point to do it. Maybe I'll do it on that final Sunday. Wait, what does June 30th fall on? Tuesday. I could probably do it then. Because you figure that's like the halfway point of the year. I would definitely do that. The other guys, when I was in high school, were monsters. They were intimidating. Oh, really? Yeah, but you're tall, though, too. 6'4", but I understand. I mean, those guys are maybe built a certain way. Basketball, too. Uh-huh. Intimidating typo. No, I got you, J-Rod. All right, let me see. Hold on. So Brandon Aubrey got paid, huh? Yeah, you're going to hear a lot of NFL talk this week, that's for sure. Let's see. Comments. I was a beanpole back then, sorry. Hey, nothing wrong with that, but I understand you're going up against football players that, you know, that are big and enormous. Don't worry about Detroit J-Rod during his beast. Oh, his beast. This is his worst game. Yeah, I could see that. Uh-oh, I missed it. Hang on. Yeah, I saw the basketball too that you, but before that, I may have to filter these comments. No, it says all. Hold on a second. Yep. Yeah, sneeze sound like a kitten. I acknowledge that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't Fishing Angel. I don't know which comment. I don't know if because remember, I'm going through this program, unlike when I go through the phone instead of top comments, all comments. So I don't know which comment I missed. Always was a beanstalk until I got clean and put on 40 pounds. Oh, nice. Nice, J-Rock. Good for you. All right, let me see one other thing. All right. It's right above my husband's comment. Right above. What, the basketball too? This one? The one I just put up? That's the last one you put up. Because then he put intimidating typo. I said basketball. Because, right, you were referring to, hold on. Because I know he said this. I played punter, wide receiver, basketball is my sport. And then you put basketball too. Was that it? Or did I miss something? Oh, geez. I don't know. The other guys. That didn't come up. I don't see that. Oh, hang on. Yeah, the other guys, this one. The other guys I was in high school. Yeah, because right above that, you wrote, when I sneeze, I sound like a kitten. Which was above this comment. Oh, here we go. JAYREELZ and a halfway. Am I? Listen, I don't know what to say to that one. Ay. I don't know what to say. Listen, if I'm doing something right, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, well, I'll take the credit or partial credit. I feel like I don't deserve any of that credit, but I'll tip my cap. Thank you, sir. Oh, they tied the game. All right. It's got to be what, like fifth inning right now? Yeah, I'll take a look at that in a second. All right, Fishing Angel, I see your next comment. I played softball. Oh, and basketball too. Yeah, I didn't see that comment. Oh, here we go. Well, hold on. What's this? Let me click on this for a second. Live comments and viewers will appear on screen during your stream. Keep the conversation going. All right. I just unlocked something. I don't know if that means I'm going to see your comment. Oh, I see what it is. So if I do this, hold on a second. So they filter in. Wait. Ah, you see that on there? Fourth inning. All right, that I do see. Yeah, I don't know about that. Should we show that on stage? No, we want to get the full thing. Yeah, that's weird. I got to, what's this? Doing all this on the fly. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't show there, Fishing Angel. But yeah, so you played soccer, softball, tennis, cheerleading, and basketball. And which one was your favorite out of all those? If I had to guess, I'm going to say track or softball. Fourth inning. Hold on. Yeah, who's pitching again? Sonny Gray, and who's pitching for the Tigers? Oh, Jack Flaherty, right? Excuse me as I'm rubbing my eye. Flaherty, 4 walks. Jeez. Sonny Gray out of the game. Yeah, what's Roman Anthony's numbers this year? Yeah, 1 homer, 3 RBIs. That is not good. Basketball. Okay. That was your favorite. Oh, I annihilated. You did. You weren't playing. You're like, Oh, excuse me. Good for you, Fishing Angel. And now I was, of course, I know you do yoga and you don't, I know you exercise, but the running, let me see. I was only 5'7", but great at basketball. No, 5'7" is a good height. Do you guys have a hoop in your backyard? Or front driveway? And if so, how often do you go out to shoot? I would destroy anyone here in basketball. Oh, is that right? Wait a minute. How are you 5'5"? See, I love basketball. My thing is that I could shoot. Handle was all right. Like to play defense. But, and listen, you have the height. You're 6'4", so I can only imagine. Rebounding. Oh, we do not. It's a great idea. Oh, all right. I don't know. I was just taking a guess. I thought maybe you had one. Uh-oh. Can disappointment be inherited like eye color, aka the man? Well, I tell you one thing. You know what's inherited? Becoming jaded and cynical because we watch the Mets. That's what that is, Fuqua. Oh, it's a mess. And Fuqua, Saturday, Industry City. You shrunk as you got older? Oh, no. And 2 inches, a 5'7", a 5'5". That's significant. You don't play with me. Oh, Vlado, I'm sure you're probably good in basketball, no? I can't shoot, but I can play defense. I got the baby hook down pat. Nice. That's what happens, man. When you're 6'4", you got that height. I'll do running when it gets warmer. All right. And how far will you go, Fishing Angel? I think I've asked you that. I don't know. I ask all these people the same questions, it seems, but, you know. All right. Wait, what did that? Oh, okay. Hey, the name popped up. I thought it's got that name out of here. The JAYREELZ name. Everybody pretty much knows. Anyway. 3-pointers were my specialty. You could drain the 3. All right. That's good, Fishing Angel. 4 miles. Very good. Yeah, I went, I ran Saturday. Yeah, the weather here today is going to be in the low 50s. Yeah, no more 80-degree days like last week. Right now it's 48, feels like 41. Yeah, the rest of this week, 51, 47. Thursday and Friday, not bad. 68, 65, but then 52, 55, 61, 62, 61. Yeah, we had that little heat wave, which was great, but yeah, that is over and out right now. A thing of the past. 12 blocks in one game? Bill Russell over here. Look at that. Oh, here's something I got for you guys. I mentioned this on my other live, the podcast pregame. This is eye black. It looks like lipstick, but it's in this form. On those days where I know the podcast or the live stream, if I'm going to be angry, furious, spicy, whatever you want to call it, I'm thinking about putting the eye black as like my game face. Now, I always have my game face every time I do a podcast, but when I know it's going to be really good, I'm thinking about putting this on. Your thoughts? And you can be honest. You can be like, it's silly, or it's stupid. Don't do that. It's gimmicky. I just feel like, hey, it's appropriate. It's not like I'm putting on a wig or doing something stupid. Eye black is just to show like, JAYREELZ isn't going to play today. Soapos are canceled like my sister knows. Oh, geez. What, by throwing it or swinging or hitting it? Oh, yeah, I'd feel horrible too. Please, I'll never forget there was a time where I think it was 5th or 6th grade. I was playing baseball and I was playing third base, and a grounder was hit to me, and we're about to have about to be a double play. And as I'm throwing it to second, for whatever the reason, and this was during lunch hour, school. So I throw it over to second and try to get the force or start a double play. And what happens? As he was ready to catch it, the kid slid into him, and he fell this way. And he didn't catch the ball. The ball hit him square in the mouth and almost knocked his teeth out. Thankfully, it didn't. Because then afterwards, there was a big thing like, the ball, I hit him and got to pay for doctors and, no. But yeah, that was as bad as it got. But other than that, hitting it. Oh, man, right in the nose too. Jeez. Oh, hold on. J-Rod. I was a Sar Thompson defense hustle. I could put it in. All right. That's good. Oh, you say yes, definitely. All right, with the black. All right. Eye black will attract the trolls. Is that a good thing or bad thing, Fuqua? Yeah, I know the guy's going to think, look at this guy. He thinks he's going to go play. Nah, it's just showing you that it's more of a game face. Because, I'm angry, bitter, upset. I mean, think about this. Imagine if the Mets lose Tuesday night before Wednesday's live stream. And let's say Mendoza boneheaded decision or they get shut out. Putting this right on. But you're right. It will attract the trolls. But that's all right. The trolls won't bother me. And yes, Fishing Angel gets approval from her. That's great. Vlado. Oh, you did? Don't know your side. 1 point. All right, I'm going to. Can't funk anymore. You mean dunk? The shot is there. All right, hold on. I'm going to convert that right here. Hold on. What's that? 1.93 meters? There we go. Oh! All right, Vlado. We got some comp here. So Vlado's 6'3", and wait, and his 109 kg. Hold on. Hang on. What is? So Vlado is 6'3", 240. Wow. I don't know, J-Rod. I think you got some comp there. 6'3", 240. Wow. I remember about someone shot and went back into his nose and messed up his nose pretty good. I didn't feel good about that. Oh. So wow. So between Fishing Angel hitting the ball off her sister's nose and then blocking it. Uh-oh. And people know you ain't talking crap. Yeah, that's right, Fishing Angel. You tell them. All right, that's good. Uh-oh. Is the Mendoza line even a thing anymore? There's the new Mendoza line, Carlos Mendoza. Yeah, I don't even know. It's probably not. Because so many people are batting. And that's the thing. Yeah, the Mendoza line, it probably isn't because nobody's talking about that. And for those who are wondering the Mendoza line, who aren't familiar with that, and I don't know why it was given to this particular player. I guess it could have been given to a lot, but it was Mario Mendoza. He was the shortstop of the Seattle Mariners in the late 70s, early 80s. And, yeah, the Mendoza line, he was notorious for that because he always batted around or below 200. And Mendoza's lifetime numbers, I want to pull those up. Thank you for that bio. He was a lifetime 215 hitter. Started with the Pirates, but I said, but the Mariners are more his, yeah, because I remember when he was with the Mariners, it was more so. Yeah, he played 9 years. Was a light hitting shortstop. He batted 215 over his career. Let me see. Yeah, 91 games, 56, 50, 70, 50. Yeah, because with the Mariners, he played those 2 years. He played 148 and 114 games. Then went to Texas, and then that was it. But here were his numbers. 221, 180, 185, 198, 218, 198, 245, 231. In fact, the 1980 season with Seattle was 245. That's hitting 300 for him. And then it was 231 the following year, 88 games, though. Yeah, career. 287 hits, 106 runs scored, 4 homers, 101 RBIs. Yeah, that's bad. And he's still alive, 75 years old. Maybe I should get him to be on the show, on the podcast, if I can find him. All right, here we go. The Mets will win. They need to stay positive. Well, sadly, the fan base isn't, but yeah, I'm trying. I am trying, Fishing Angel. Did you see Jake Cronin in the face? No, I didn't see that. Oh, I did not see that. I'm going to have to look that up. Even though I don't like to see stuff like that, but Vlad, I'm the same age, 6'4", 210, can still play and get to the basket. Yeah, that'd be great. That don't look. Uh-oh. International Basketball getting a JAYREELZ podcast. Make it happen. All right, we could try to do something like that. It would almost be like a gamer situation. You'd have to play like 2K. I could broadcast it. Next thing you know, I'll be like, what's his name? Who's one of the big game YouTubers. Well, my sister got me back when we played volleyball. She hit me in the head. Oh, okay. So she got her payback. We are good in sport because we are the tallest people in the world, Montenegro, Serbia. Wow. Montenegro. Yeah, I would love to get to that part of the world, man. I would love that. All right, let me see. Hold on. I want to make sure I got everybody's comments. Hold on. Sister got me back. Yeah, I got that. Don't look. Oh, yeah, let me look at that Cronenworth. Got hit in the face. 97 mile. Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah. Did he have the what's it called? And he did have the oh, look like wow. Wait, I want to see that again. Hold on. Lock. Yeah, he got hit like right off the chin. How did he not turn from that? I mean, listen, I understand it's 97 miles an hour. He stood in the game too. Jeez. Yeah, I did not see that. Good one, Fuqua. Yeah, I did not see that until now. George Kittle's arrived for the 49ers offseason workout program. Yeah, at WrestleMania over the weekend, as we talked about. Cronenworth in the face was scary. Yeah, that was bad. Not as bad as some of the others you've seen. Like when Giancarlo got hit by Mike Fires. What was another one? Yeah, it was quite a few. Oh, is that right? Cronenworth has a hockey background? Yeah. That definitely helps. Before I take my dirt nap. Imagine that. Hey, let's all go to Serbia. And Vlado, how's your mom? Please, I hope she's doing well. Hit in the face by the Braves. That was over the. Oh, wait. That was. I remember that. Yeah, because he had his nose. He had the black eye. I remember that too. Yeah, that was bad. Yes. Oh, yes. That's right too. Excellent point there, J-Rod. I remember that also. Who did he hit? Jeez. I forgot. But I remember that one, though, too. Yeah, I remember Tarek. Yeah, his reaction to that was, yeah. Wait, as a matter of fact, let's look it up. Tarek's Google. Oh, here we go. David Fry. Yes. That was late in the year. David Fry. Oh, yeah, that was brutal. Although he didn't get hit in the face, the OG one was Goose Gossage Ron Say in the World Series. I know Bio remembers that. As much as it hurts me to say, if he's having another banger of a season. We're talking about Scooble? Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Brandon Aubrey makes $7 million a year. Thanks to Val for that. And what else? No, I think that's it. All right. 10 cases, 16 his last study looks locked in. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Ian Kennedy. I remember that one too. Yeah, what's up with Yasiel Puig? Isn't he? Obviously, he's been in some trouble recently. Wait, Yasiel Puig, what happened? Yeah, convicted, federal charges, obstruction of justice, and making false statements regarding illegal sports betting operation. Yeah, Puig, yeah, that's not good. Miss Priya. Yes, he does. And why not? The guy still scores goals. He's still effective. He's indestructible. I would say, yeah, why not have him come back? I wouldn't be surprised. Thank you, Val, as always. I got in the face a couple once. That wasn't fun at all. Crosby still got touched. Yeah, that's a golf ball. That's no joke. Let me go back to that. Yeah, no, that is no joke. Oof. That's like a pool ball, but even smaller. Yeah, he still does, Miss Priya. He still does. I know the Hurricanes obviously off to a good start. I don't know how far you are from Raleigh. But I'm sure people are pumped up about the Hurricanes. That's the game where Mark McGuire, assistant coach. Oh, yes. I remember that. Kirk Gibson, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, that was trying to think. When was that? That was in, if I'm not mistaken, that game was that game in Arizona? Let me think about that. LCL. Oh, no, that was at Dodger Stadium, right? Yeah. No, I want to highlight of it. Oh, here we go. Benches cleared twice, 6 ejected in LA. Zach Greinke. Let's see. Zach Greinke retaliated by hitting Miguel Montero in the back. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ian Kennedy was a Yankee farmhand. Yeah, I'm watching it now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm not showing this because, of course, I think of the stupid copyright stuff. And I'm actually on MLB. I'm not even on YouTube. So Greinke hits Montero. Yep. And that was before Greinke went to the Dodgers. Because then he went 2015, and Greinke, I believe, won the Cy Young that year. Stopping NHL. Oh, yeah, that's Miss Priya already had said that. Crosby got touch. Uh-oh. And a half ounce weight in the face when we were fishing. Oh, yeah, that's not fun. No, absolutely. I can imagine how you felt. Golf ball came out of a baseball. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah, hitting a golf ball from a baseball bat? That's got to be, scary. Come on, J-Rod. I would love to come to America to see my country. Oh, man. Open invite by Vlado? Let's go. I don't know if there's hotels near you, but please, if that's an open invite, then let's do it. Went to cast my pole. Oh. Yeah, that's not good. I hope he was all right. I'm sure he was, but Ian Kennedy was nuts week too. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't watch. I just watched the opening clip. I didn't watch. It was like 6 minutes long because they showed Montero get hit in the back. And then I know, like you mentioned about McGuire there, bio. It was announced on the quarter weight and Fishing Angel went to cast. Caught me around the face. And ooh, saw some stars there. Nah. Oh, here we go. So we got a J-Rod versus Vlado in of basketball. Now, Vlado, do you have is there a court nearby you, or in your home, do you have would they set up like a basketball hoop and all that in your home or in your garage or something like that? Do a live stream of that. That'd be fun. All right. So that's all right. We got all the sports, everything that's happening in sports out the way. Before I sign off, I know yours truly, I got to run to the bathroom, but I'll hang out for a couple more minutes. Let me see. Hold on. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. All right, wait. What did I do with the hold on. Let's pull that up. All right. Uh-oh, yes, he does. Well, hang on. So there we go. So now we all gotta have to fly out to Serbia to have this J-Rod versus Vlado matchup. Do a live stream of free throw shooting contest. Yes, we could do that too. Or a game of horse. Yes, I will. Fishing Angel, absolutely. Val. Yes, they do need to win. Next game is tomorrow night. Fishing Angel, bless your heart. Thank you. I truly appreciate that. You know it. But I'll be down, but I'm not winning that. J-Rod says no to that. Yes. If you have subscribed, guys, thank you, Fishing Angel, again. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Yeah, I will start the sign off here. Do my usual closing. Yes, have a wonderful day, everyone. Go sports. You already know. But yes, please post your comments. I'll start to wrap up here. That'll do it, my good people. Another episode just about in the books. As always, thank you so much for stopping by, carving out precious time out of your day to listen to what it is I have to say about the toy department of life called sports. If you haven't done so, please subscribe, rate, review right here on YouTube. Throw me a few stars. Write a review on Apple or Spotify as we try to increase the visibility of this podcast with so many others that are out there. But not only that, this is true passionate sports talk. This isn't clickbait. This isn't rage bait. This isn't any of that fluff, that garbage that's out there. This is 100% made by a sports fan for you guys and gals, a sports fan. And of course, if you could do your part by subscribing, I'd sincerely appreciate it. If you want to hit me up with any questions, comments, suggestions, you could do so at the following: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, the JAYREELZ Podcast, or on Instagram, just JAYREELZ. Twitter, JAYREELZ1, just a number. Twitch, JAYREELZ1, just a number. The old-fashioned way to JAYREELZ Podcast at gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to follow up with you guys and gals, because whether you do or do not know, this is what I have to do, people. It's in the blood, in the DNA, as I always like to say. Talking sports is birth. Because as long as I sit in front of this camera and microphone, I promise I'll deliver nothing but passion, fire, energy, fury, my thoughts, opinions, critiques, praise, analysis, feelings on anything and everything that happens in order the diamond, ice, gridiron, hardwood, golf course, racetrack, tennis court, boxing ring, octagon, you name it. From my lips to your ears, from my heart to your soul, from where I am to wherever you are. The JAYREELZ Podcast always comes live, correct, directed, in full effect. From the South Bronx, the South Beach, the South Central, the South Pacific, and all points beyond. Peace, love, and God bless everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. See you Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube for the next live stream. And until next time on the JAYREELZ Podcast, on the flip, baby. And with that being said, let's see. I'm remodeling my... Nice. Oh, man, good for you. Hopefully you're having a rain head in their bio. That'd be awesome. All right, Vlado, absolutely. We'll have to take you up on that. And I appreciate you, Vlado, in regards to your mom, of course. Yes, bio, great sports day to you. Bio, make a video, post it. Why not? Yes, post it. I'll watch it. I subscribe, so I'm in. Tell everyone, said don't take it too far. Yeah, exactly. You know I won't, but for those who do, enjoy 420. Val, thank you so much. 5 likes. Looking forward to Wednesday, everybody. I appreciate you all. Much love. And until next time, on the flip.